Hello friends, welcome to our channel Know the Law, and here I am Advocate Jyoti Chodia. Today we are going to study the citizenship. What are the rights of the citizens of India and how it can be acquired, and how the citizenship of the India can be terminated or lost, and much more. So the citizenship is enshrined in our Indian constitution under part 2, containing from article 5 to 11. So friends, now let's start with our today's topic, that is citizenship. So before starting with our topic, first of all, let us know what is meant by citizenship. Citizenship is a status of a person recognized under the custom or the law as being a legal member of a sovereign state or belonging to a nation. That means it's a legal relationship between an individual and the country or the nation. So, there are citizenship can be acquired by various purpose and in the multiple ways. A person who does not have any citizenship of any nation in the world is called a stateless person, whereas the person who lives on the borders of the is known as the border, often used similar or synonym to the word citizenship. But in some countries like USA, UK, nationality and citizenship have the different meanings. So basically, though we use in our day to day life the word citizenship and the nationality are complementary to one another, but in reality, in the international law, it is regarded uh, totally different from each other. So we will studying all this in our in this video further. So moving further with how the citizenship can be acquired. So first of all, the citizenship can be acquired by the four ways. That is, first by the birth, second by the soil, third by the marriage, and fourth by the naturalization process. So, how it can be acquired by the birth, soil, marriage, and naturalization can be explained in our upcoming videos. Because in this video, we will only be studying what is mentioned in the constitution about the citizenship and nothing more. So, before now moving further to our the topic citizenship under the Indian Constitution. So, before after the declaration of the independence in India, the country was divided into two parts, that is India and the Pakistan. So the people were given the freedom or the choice to join any country they want or they wish to become a citizen of. But in the upcoming years or after some years, the situation demanded a strict provision to frame the citizenship policies in both the countries, that is India and the Pakistan. So in the Indian scenario, the provisions of the citizenship were made under Article 5 to 11 under the Part 2 of the Constitution of India. So, like this, the Constitution gives certain rights or the privileges to the Indian citizens, like, for example, equal status and equal enjoyment of all the civil and political rights. So, this is how the citizen gets benefit in India. So, basically, we can see in the world there can be two types of citizenship in the federal system. One is the single citizenship, as we see in India, and second is the dual citizenship, as we see in USA and Switzerland, where citizenship of the nation has to be acquired differently, and the citizenship of the state where they reside in the country has to be acquired separately. So like this dual citizenship, whereas in scenario of India, be the whether the person live in a particular state or goes to another state for his education or various other purpose in India, there is no difference in that because he belongs to only one nation and acquires the citizenship of only the nation and nothing more. So he is regarded as a citizen of India. So, under Article 5 to 8 of the Indian Constitution, uh, contains the provisions relating to the Indian citizenship. That means how it can be acquired and how what are the rights enjoyed by the citizenship. Whereas under Article 9 to 11, it provides the acquisition or the loss of the Indian citizenship. That means how the citizenship of India can be lost or terminated by voluntarily or forcefully, that is mentioned under Article 9 to 11. So, in India, the president is regarded as the first citizen of India. So, now moving further to the basic terms which are used in Article 5 to 11 of the Indian Constitution. So, these are the some of the basic terms which we should know their meaning before we proceed with the articles. First is the citizenship. As we have already understood what is meant by citizenship, it is just an contract or a legal relationship between a nation or country and the individual. And by this relation, the individual enjoys all the political and the civil rights by staying in that country or moving to other nation for any other temporary purposes. Whereas nationality is by birth, means if a person, though his or her parents are born in India or any other person, and the person is born in England, then its nationality is of a foreign parents citizenship of India. He is regarded as a citizen of India. So basically, his nationality can be of any other country, and citizenship can be of any other country. So next is the domicile. Domicile, where one person lives with the intention to stay there. That is known as domicile of that person. One may have many residents but only have the one domicile. Domicile means basically the person who wants or intends to live here in a particular country, though he have many other properties or the houses in various other countries, that doesn't matter. Where he want to reside permanently, that is called the domicile of that person. Whereas the resident, now the resident means a foreign country has allowed you to live and work in that country, usually indefinitely, but you are still considered to be the foreigner and can be deported. That means if a Indian citizen goes to England or USA, Japan, Tokyo, or any other country for that matter, he and has this Indian citizenship or gone on the passport of the Indian citizenship, is the foreigner or the foreign resident in that country. And if there is any conflicts or arises or the situation such is granted or the government orders such person, he can be deported back to the country to which he is the citizen of the country. So these are the basic terms, and now let's move further from overview of Article 5 to 11. So basically in Article 5 what is mentioned is the citizenship at the commencement of the Constitution. So what was the status of the citizenship during the commencement of the Constitution is mentioned under Article 5. Under Article 6, the rights of the citizen of certain person who have migrated to India from Pakistan are mentioned. Whereas under Article 7, the rights of citizens who have migrated to Pakistan from India, the rights of such people are mentioned. Whereas in Article 8, the rights of citizens of certain person of Indian origin residing outside India, that means nationalities of India, and but having the citizenship of the foreign country. So what are the rights of such person are enshrined under Article 8. So Article 9 now speaks about the person who have voluntarily acquired the citizen of any foreign country cannot be citizen of India. So how the voluntary a person can give up his citizenship is mentioned under Article 9. Article 10 says that continuance of the rights of citizens. And lastly, and not the least, speaks about, that is Article 11, the rights or the power of a parliament to regulate the rights of citizenship by law. That means the constitution gives the power to the parliament to make the laws in the framework of these articles to regulate the citizenship laws in India. So this is the overview. Now let us study all these articles one by one. So Article 5. So what is mentioned in Article 5? Let us read out it. It says, at the commencement of this constitution, every person who has his domicile in the territory of India, which means A, who was born in the territory of India, B, either of whose parents are born in the territory of India, C, whose has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India for not less than 5 years immediately preceding such commencement shall be the citizen of India. So basically this article says that any person who has born in India or either of his parents are born in India or ordinarily resides in India for not less than 5 years is regarded as the citizen of India if such thing happens before the commencement of the Indian Constitution. So let us study this white case law in Muhammad Riza versus State of Bombay. So in the term domicile, what was decided was about the term domicile, as it is not defined anywhere in the constitution, but in the ordinary sense, as we have already studied, it means a permanent home or a place person with the intention of remaining there for an indefinite period. That means if he is residing with an intention in a particular country to reside is called the domicile of that person. So in this case, what happened was the appellant, that is Muhammad Riza, was a nationalite of Iran country and came to India with his uncle. And in 1938, when he was the 13 years old, and when he came to India, there were no records to show on what basis he came to India from Iran. But what happened was in 1945, he obtained the passport of Iran and went to Iraq on pilgrimage. This passport showed but obvious that he had a identity card of the Iran government and he is a citizen of Iran. So after returning from the pilgrimage, that is in 1946, he was registered as the for under the registration of the foreigners and came to India and obtained the resident permit from the government of India to reside in India for a certain date. So this permission was extended from time to time upon his request. But last request was in the 1957, and he was refused and was ordered under the Foreign Act to leave India. As he was having the citizenship of Iran, he was just a foreigner to come to India for a certain purpose. So the appellant, the court held that, court held that the appellant is not a citizen of India because these circumstances are insufficient. A citizen of India, but it doesn't prove the domicile of that person. So here the question of the domicile were raised, and the Supreme Court or the court said that though there is a issue of a domicile and not a citizenship, the issue though there is no argument on which country's citizenship he belongs to, but the question was of domicile, and on that basis, this court held that there are no sufficient evidence on the record to show that which domicile he has or he has to hold on. So this is in that case hold. So coming up to the next article, which speaks about the rights of the citizens of certain persons who have migrated to India from the Pakistan. So this article says that notwithstanding, that is, it doesn't affect anything what is mentioned was in earlier article. It says that a person who has migrated to the territory of India from the territory now included in Pakistan shall be deemed to be citizen of India at the commencement of the constitution if a he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in India as defined in the Government of India Act 1935, and b in case where such person had so migrated before the 19th day of the July 1948, he has been ordinarily resident in the territory of India since the date of his migration. Second, in the case where such person has so migrated on or after the 19th day of July 1948, he has been registered as a citizen of India by an officer appointed in that behalf by the government of the Dominion of India on the application made by him, therefore, to such officer before the commencement of this constitution in the form and the manner prescribed by that government, provided that no person shall be so registered unless he has been resident in the territory of India for at least 6 months immediately preceding the date of his application. That means the article says that this article will not affect the provisions what are mentioned in the article 5, but if any person who is now in Pakistan comes to India, he is called as a migrant first of all, and that migrant person has the origin. That means if his parents or the grandparents have been born in India and he comes to India to live in India after the partition, then such uh, person can be regarded as a citizen of India. But again, it has a condition. If neither of his parents or the grandparents are the have born in India and came to India to reside, and if it is before the 19th July 1948, he can acquire the citizenship with no issues. If he comes after the 19th July 1948, he has to register with the government of India in the prescribed manner, and if the government of India gives a green signal for that, then he can be citizen of India. But again, there is a condition for it. If the officer or the government gives a green signal to be citizen of India, minimum at least 6 months he has to reside in India from the date of his application in India to become authentically the citizen of India. So this is how the person who has migrated from Pakistan and came to India to reside in India can acquire the citizenship of India. Now, it in the case of Kulati Mamu versus state of Kerala, a person whose parents were both the Indian citizens. In 19, person was of 12 and went to Pakistan. He came to India for a some time in 1954 again on Pakistani passport, which means that he is a citizen of Pakistan now. So he again he went to India, back to Pakistan, and came again in 1956. After that, there was no record to of events. But in 1964, he found in India traveling without any documents. So, on this, the action was taken by the government of India under the Foreigners Act, being that against, and so he filed a writ petition in the High Court, and where he urged that he was an Indian citizenship. The High Court held that a migrated to Pakistan within the meaning of Article 7 of the Constitution and therefore was foreigner. As we have seen in this case, as the person when he was at 12 went to Pakistan and again came to India with holding a passport of the Pakistan, which is a clear indication that he has holding of citizenship of the Pakistan and not of India, though his parents are born in India. So the High Court held on that basis held that he is a migrant and he belongs to the Pakistan citizenship of Pakistan, and he cannot be regarded as the Indian citizenship, and therefore regarded can be regarded as a foreigner under Article 7. So but again he challenged the same in the Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court said that migration is capable of two meanings, one in the narrower sense and one in the broader sense. What is meant by in the narrower sense? It means going from one place to another with the intention of permanent residing in that place. Whereas in the wider sense, it means going from one place to another, whether or not with the intention of permanent residence in the that particular state or a country. That means in the narrow sense means he wants to permanently settle in that country, that is called migration. Or in the wider sense, moving from one another country, though he wants to or not wants to, there can be an intention or not can be intention to permanently reside in the that particular country is regarded as the migration. Just as the domicile is a question of fact, migration is also the question of fact. Therefore, migrated from the territory of India within the meaning of Article 7 means moving from one place to another, but not necessary with the intention of residing in the country into which the person has moved. That means it upheld the decision which was given by the High Court. That means he is a foreigner and not a citizen of India and can be arrested, and the actions can be taken by the government against such person. So now moving further to the next article, that is Article 7, which speaks about the rights of the citizen of certain migrants to Pakistan. So according to this, notwithstanding under anything under Article 5 and 6, that means anything what is mentioned under Article 6 and the 5 uh, cannot be affected in any ways by Article 7. So, what it further says is a person who has, after the first day of the March 1947, migrated from the territory of India to the now territory, including Pakistan, shall not be deemed to be a citizen of India, provided that nothing in this article shall apply to a person who, after having so migrated to the territory now included in Pakistan, has returned to the territory of India under a permit for resettlement or a permanent return issued by or under the authority of any person or any law shall, for the purpose of clause B of Article 6, be deemed to have migrated to the territory of India after the 19th day of July 1948. So, this article means that any person who has migrated to the Pakistan shall not be deemed to be a citizen of India. But there is a condition. What is that condition? That any person who has migrated to Pakistan and acquired the citizen of India, but he comes back to India with the proper documentation and with the intent and the mind to reside in India, such person cannot be regarded as the foreigner or the migrant or the clauses of previous articles and can be regarded as a citizen of India. Uh, so this is what the article wants to say. Now, in this example, that is was a state of Bihar versus Kumar Amar Singh. In this case, what happened was a wife left her husband and went to Karachi, which is in Pakistan. According to her statement, which she gave in the court, she says that she went to Karachi temporarily for a treatment. Then she returned back to India and was permitted to stay, as she stated that she was Pakistan domicile, means she was born in Pakistan and not in India, and she had gone for only a temporary period for few years or few months for the purpose of treatment. Then after the expiry of the period which was granted by the government to stay in India, she returned back to the Pakistan. Then she wanted to get a permanent citizenship of India when her property in India was to be taken under the custody. As after the expiry of the period, she returned to Pakistan, and that at that time she never claimed that she want to reside in India with her husband or want a citizenship of India, and she no longer want to be citizen of Pakistan and such other things. And she never applied or approached to the government for that purpose also. So, when the government decided to take her properties into the custody, then she came up and said she want to be a citizen, permanent citizenship of India. So this case went to the Honorable Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that as she had migrated before the date stated in the provision, she won't be given the permanent citizenship. So, as she had migrated before the state date stated in the provisions. So, in the provision, what the date is mentioned, she has migrated to Pakistan before that and not settled in India. For that purpose, she is regarded as foreigner, and she cannot be regarded given a permanent citizenship on that basis. If she want to acquire a permanent citizenship, she has to settle in the India for a particular time period or the norms set by the Indian government. Then and then only she can acquire the permanent citizenship of India, and not like that. So now moving further to the next article, that is Article 8, which speaks that rights of citizenship of certain person of Indian origin residing, though they have the citizenship of the other nation, they are born in India or their parents are born in India, they are known as the Indian origin persons. So, what the article in the article is mentioned is that, notwithstanding anything in the Article 5, any person who or either of whose parents or any of his grandparents was born in India as defined in the Government of India Act 1935, and who is ordinarily residing in any country outside India as so defined, shall be deemed to be the citizen of India if has been registered as a citizen of India by the diplomatic or the consular representative of India in the country where he is for the time being residing, on an application made by him therefore to such diplomatic or consular representative, whether before or after the commencement of this constitution, in the form and manner prescribed by the government of the Dominion of India or the government of India. So basically, this article is says that if the person lives, will acquire the citizenship of India. Uh, that means if his parents or the other of his grandparents have been born in India and apply to the diplomats of the foreign of the Indian nation, where the office is situated in their country where they are residing or where they are living, want to the citizenship of India in the particular manner which is prescribed by the government of India. And if the government grants such permission, and this procedure has to be held before the commencement of the Indian Constitution. That means before the enforcement or the commencement into the practical sense of the Constitution, in the or forcing the enforcement of the Indian Constitution in the India. Before that procedure has to be done with the diplomats of the Indian government, which offices are settled in with all the countries all over the world. Um, they are known as the diplomatic offices in can it is everywhere in the in every country one such office has been established. And if the person wants to be citizen of that India, then he has to go to that office where he is residing, and in that country's office, Indian diplomat office, and give in a prescribed form that he want a citizenship of India before the commencement of the constitution, then he can be a citizen of India. So this is how of Indian origin can acquire the citizen of India. Next article, Article 9. It says in the clear language, a person voluntarily acquiring citizen of any foreign state cannot be a citizen of India. It says that no person shall be citizen of India by virtue of Article 5 or deemed to be citizen of India by virtue of Article 6 or Article 8 if he has voluntarily acquired the citizen of any foreign state. That means if a person has gone in any foreign country, acquired the citizen of that country, then he can no more be regarded as a citizen of India. And thereafter he becomes a citizen of that country, that particular country. So what happened was in state of UP versus Rahmatullah. In this case, what happened was Rahmatullah was a Pakistani national and had on April 1, 1955 entered to India on a Pakistani passport. That means he is a citizen of Pakistan and acquired the Indian visa dated March 2022, 1955, obtained by him in the Pakistan national but always in his country. But even after the expiry of the permanent period, he was overstaying in India without the valid passport or the visa. He came to India with a valid passport and the visa of India. But after the expiry of that visa and the passport, he overstayed in India. So the original visa is not disputed because he came with a valid procedure. So there is no dispute about them. So upon the expiry, that it expired on 21st June 1955, but it was extended thrice. The last section was extension of that visa was up to 25th of May 1956. Thereafter, the respondent went underground and has since been residing in India illegally. He was treated with several years and was arrested on July 11 in 1936. So, a person from Pakistan came to India having proper documents and he extended his visa twice. And when he extended his last visa, that lastly visa at the fourth attempt, um, it was valid up to a certain period, and after the expiration of this fourth visa as well, he continued to reside in India. And he when the officers or the government took an action against him, he undergrounded himself in India. When his the government took the action against him under the Foreigners Rules Act, and also the he was arrested as well as various punishments given. And but he challenged all these uh, all this in front of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Supreme central government it is authorized to take the action against the people who are acquired the foreign citizenship and have lost the citizen of India, but they are still residing in the country. The Honorable Supreme Court also gave the decision in the favor of the government, stating that the government has the full power to regulate and take the action against a person of any for against foreigner who without any ill documents or invalid documents residing in India, and can take arrest him or can punish him as the government wants. So coming this is how the citizenship under Article 9 is lost. Now, coming to the Article 10, which says about the continuance of the rights of the citizenship. It says that every person who is or is deemed to be citizen of India under any of the foregoing provisions of this part shall, subject to the provisions of any law that may be made by Parliament, continue to be such citizen. That means it says that who is regarded or given authority or any individual who is a citizenship or who is a citizen of India shall continue to have his power being the citizen of India and has to obey all the laws made by the Parliament of India, and it will never affect such laws will never affect their citizenship in any way or in any form. If it such are affected, then the such laws will be invalid and illegal and unconstitutional. So lastly, in the case of Ibrahim Wazir Mawat versus State of Bombay, it was held that a constitutional validity of the influx from Pakistan Control Act 1949 was put forward, which this act provided that when a person who has a domicile of either India or Pakistan cannot enter the premises of the above stated countries without the permission. So this act was came into the force, and the act said when a person has a domicile either of India who has a domicile either of India or Pakistan cannot enter the premises of the above stated countries without a permission. That means a person who doesn't have the a citizenship either of India or the Pakistan cannot enter in both the countries without any permission. And if any person goes against such rules, he would be convicted of the offense mentioned in the act. So, according to Section 7, a person can be denied citizenship by the central government under central certain ground. And if such person tries to become a citizen of India, then the government of that country can deny to grant the citizenship to that person. So, it was challenged before the Supreme Court of India. So, a Supreme Court of India held that removing a citizen from the country under Section 7 of the Pakistan Control under the Pakistan Control Act of from India would amount to the deprivation of the rights of the citizen as mentioned under Part 2 of the Constitution. So, Honorable Supreme Court of India very well settled that if a person's right being want to reside in India and wants the citizens of India is taken away is the deprivation or the Constitution of India itself, and it cannot be done in any ways. So the act which was passed, that is Pakistan Control Act 1949, of allowing any person to reside in any of the countries without any permission who enter their countries was invalid and unconstitutional in or Indian scenario, and is against the policies of the Constitution of India and regarded as null and void effect in India. So this is how the Supreme Court now and then always check the laws whether it sits in the boundary of the Constitution of India or not. If in any way or in any manner it touches or wants to outgrow, such laws are always considered as the invalid and inconstitutional, and they are dumped from the scenario of India by the Honorable Supreme Court now and then. So, now the last articles, that is Article 11, which says that Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law. It says that nothing in the foregoing provisions of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any provisions with respect to the acquisition and determination of citizenship and all other matters relating to citizenship. That means nothing in from Article 5 to 10 will affect the powers which are given under Article 11 about a giving of the citizenship and termination of the citizenship, be it voluntarily or by force, or various other matters relating to the citizenship cannot be taken away from the Parliament, and the Parliament has full freedom to make any such laws about the termination and giving of the citizenship to the people of India or the individual of any country which wants or intend to acquire the citizen of India. So, friends, if you have understood the concept of the citizenship mentioned under the Constitution of India, which is mentioned under the Part 2, ranging from Article 5 to 11 of the Constitution, which speaks about how the citizenship of India can be acquired and can be terminated, and various such provisions, then do subscribe our channel and like and share. And yes, don't forget to comment your views on this topic in the comment section. Till then, be safe, be healthy, and see you in the next video. Thank you.